Make it, sing it, draw it, say it. This is how dog zombies play it. Doodle monster, furry creature, draw a picture of my teacher. I like wafers, they're the best. Marcus Meldrew's not impressed. Granny's custard's very lumpy. Delia is always grumpy. I'm Tom Gates, that's my name. So join in with my favourite games. Get ready, 'cause here we go. Welcome to my brilliant show.
What I'm reading right now is Tom Gates' Top of the Class, nearly. There's always a little bracket bit there. And I decided, I've chosen a bit where it introduces a character called Buster Jones. I think this is the first time he appears. Buster is older than Tom and he gets into trouble quite a lot as well. So most of the time the kids try and avoid him. Here we go. Buster Jones. There he is, looking a bit gruff. Buster Jones is older than me and in the year above. He's one of those kids who seems to get into trouble a lot for doing stupid things like lying on the floor when he's not supposed to. Get off the floor, Buster. It's comfy, miss. When Buster was in detention, he decided to try and escape through the classroom window. He was on the ground floor. Even Buster's not that daft. Only he got stuck, properly wedged in. Some kids gathered around and just stared at him. Derek and I watched what was going on from a safe distance. Buster started to get really cross and he couldn't get out. Don't just stand there looking at me. Help me out. There they go. He's stuck. So a few of them got hold of his leg and started to try and pull him out, but that didn't work. Buster tried wiggling from side to side, but he didn't budge at all. And when the teacher, Mr Sprocket, caught him trying to escape detention, he tried to pull Buster back into the classroom. It was like a tug of war. Buster wasn't happy. I'm laughing at my own drawing. So Mr Keane saw that was going on from the office window and he wasn't happy either. What's going on down there? Eventually, caretaker Stan had to be called to free Buster from the window. He was in heaps of trouble after that. Detention, Buster. Mr Keane made a special announcement over the tannoy telling the whole school that no one should ever try and climb out of a window as it was very dangerous and they were very likely to get stuck. So I won't be doing anything like that. Before Mr Fullerman changes his mind, I gather up my stuff. I'm feeling quite pleased with myself because 1, I'm off to the library. Yay! 2, I can hang out with Derek. Yay! 3, I might actually do better in my test. Yay! 4, Derek and I can sit together. Yay! 5, I don't have to pretend to like the snacks. Yuck. Brad Galloway puts up his hand and asks if he can go to the library too. Why do you need to go to the library, Brad? Mr Fullerman asks. Because Tom's going, Brad says, which turns out to be the wrong answer. I mouth, sorry, Brad, to him as I close the door and leave. As I'm on my way to the library, I hear a door open and really loudly, followed by very stompy footsteps coming from up the stairs towards me. I don't really want to explain to another teacher what I'm doing, and if it's Mr Keane, he'll keep me chatting for ages. Where are you going, Tom? So I make a quick decision to hop into the cloakroom near the library and hide. There we are. There's Tom's hiding. Hide until whoever it is has gone past. I can just about see out and I realise it's not a teacher. It's Buster Jones, who looks like he's in a bit of a hurry. As he walks past me, I breathe a sigh of relief. Phew, that was close. I'm about to sneak out when Buster comes back. He stops in front of the glass cabinet where all the photos of the teacher are. I hold my breath. I don't move. Buster is doing something, but I can't quite see what it is. He's laughing to himself for what seems like ages. He's very busy. When he finally leaves, and I'm sure he's not coming back, I creep out of the cloakroom and take a look at what Buster's been up to. He's going to be in so much trouble if anyone finds out what he's done. Whoa. I will tell you. Here we go. Buster Jones. Buster has drawn all over the glass cabinet. While I'm staring at Buster Jones' handiwork, Miss Lucas opens the library door and calls my name. Tom Gates? which makes me jump. Aren't you supposed to be in class catch-up now? Come along, don't stand around. I don't want her to see what Buster's done in case she thinks it's me who did it. So I quickly say, yes, miss. There you go. It's always trouble that, look, it's very naughty, Buster's handiwork there. That's, look at me laughing at my own drawings again. There you go. So that is top of the class, nearly. Tom Gates' book.
Welcome to my brilliant show.
This one is called Tom Gates' What Monster? I don't know where those monsters came from, but I've kind of like, you know, they feature a lot in the books. So I'm going to read to you a little bit where Mr Fullerman is actually not in this book very much. He's gone off and they've got a supply teacher. There's rumours that a particular supply teacher that everyone knows is super strict is coming to the school. They're all hoping it's not going to be her. Sit down, Brad. Morning, class 5F. Morning, Mr Fullerman, we replied slowly. I'm going away on a very important teacher conference for a few days, so you'll have a lovely supply teacher for the rest of the week. I know you're all going to be well behaved and do all your work, won't you? Yes, we mumbled in a not very convincing way. Marcus kept nudging me and saying, told you, see, told you, as if I hadn't believed him. Your new teacher is going to love being at Oakfield School. Sir, is that pile of worksheets all for us? Norman asked. Of course it is, but don't panic, they're not all worksheets. Mr Fullerman seemed to be enjoying himself. Then Amy put up her hand. Sir, what's the new teacher called? In my head I was saying, not Miss Gravel, not Miss Gravel, not Miss Gravel. Mr Fullerman started to say, it's Miss, oh no, sorry, it's gone. Brad Galloway called out from the back of the class, is that her name, sir? Which made all the class laugh. Miss Gone, he added, in case we didn't get the joke. Very funny, Brad. I believe your new teacher is coming into school today, so I'll check her name and tell you later. I was just happy he didn't say Miss Gravel. Imagine if we had a teacher called Miss Take, I said to Amy. We spent the next 5 minutes thinking of other funny names for teachers. Miss Understood, Miss Out, Miss Heard, Miss Isle, Miss Spent, Miss Rabble, Miserable, I had to think of that one, Misshapen, Mischief, Miss Strict, Marcus added, not quite getting the joke. And don't forget the new school play auditions, Mr Fullerman reminded us all. I'm sure the play is going to be a great success because you're all so talented. Not everyone is, I muttered, because I've watched most of the plays. I'm going to audition for the lead role, Marcus told me, sounding very sure of himself. You don't know what it is yet. It could be a musical, and then you'll have to sing and dance something at the audition, I pointed out. I know, but that doesn't worry me because I'm what you call a triple threat, Marcus said confidently. Amy raised an eyebrow like she was surprised. What's a triple threat? I asked him. It means I can sing, dance and act. See, triple threat. That's me. Sounds more like some kind of an ice cream I said. I'd like a triple threat, please, with extra sprinkles, I told him, which made Amy laugh. Very funny. I was so good in the last play, I'm sure I'm going to get a bigger role this time. Which part did you have again, Tom? He added. Oh, I can't remember, I said. I did remember. I just didn't want to tell Marcus again. Were you a villager in the crowd or a tree? No one wants to be a tree, do they? Being covered in leaves, waving your arms around and swaying, pretending in the wind. Marcus kept going on and on about being a tree, saying it was the worst part in the play to get and how boring it must be when Amy interrupted him. What's wrong with being a tree? Tom was a very good tree in the last school play, weren't you, Tom? Amy remembers everything. Thanks, Amy. I'd forgotten about that, I sighed. Was your acting a bit wooden? Marcus asked me, laughing at his own joke. Actually, Marcus, everyone thought I was a tremendous tree, I said right back at him, and Marcus just groaned. You two should leave each other alone, Amy joined in. Good one, I said, and we tried to think of more tree jokes. I couldn't think any more. There you are. So you have a little bit of Tom Gates, What Monster? Hope you enjoyed that. At the back of this book, what have I got to see? Let's see. I've got a little cartoon strip about a dog called Bandit. And, oh, this is a good page. This took me ages to draw, and I'll let you into a little secret about this. I have drawn a lot of the people who were involved in making the book from my publishers. I've also drawn, that was my old editor, Sam, and I've drawn Andrew Biscombe, who, where is he? There he is. Oh no, there he is, with his arms folded. He's the creative director at Scholastic. I've drawn my agent, Caroline, there, and I've drawn my husband, Mark, and Zach there, and my two daughters. Lots of people. There's Penelope's in there somewhere. And I've also put other people in there as well, like there's Santa Claus, there's Frida Kahlo, the artist. So you can spend a lot of time like trying to work out, see who else you can spot in this page. Okay, hope you enjoy that. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Welcome to my brilliant show.
And today, right now, I'm going to read Tom Gates' Extra Special Treats. Not. Treats feature a lot. So I don't know about you, but when I was coming back from school, I would always be constantly thinking about what snacks or what treats I was going to eat. It was a big deal. So here we go. I'm walking home from school with Derek, my best friend and next door neighbour, and we're chatting about all kinds of important stuff like what we're going to eat when we get home. Wafers? Toast? Who's going to get a star pupil badge this time? Then we spot someone in front of us who looks a bit like my grumpy older sister Delia. Is that Delia? Derek asks me, and I say, I'm not sure, it might be. Delia! Delia! I shout. She ignores me. She can't hear me, I say. Let's shout louder, Derek suggests. And I get a bit closer too, I say. So we do. Delia! My throat. There we are. Delia, there. From the look on Delia's face, I think she heard us that time. I was going to say hello, but I changed my mind quickly. Uh-oh. I'm not sure Delia was that pleased to see us. We run all the way home instead. Your sister wasn't very happy, was she? Derek says, as he goes into his house. Don't worry, I tell him. Delia's never happy. She always looks like that, which is true. Delia in the morning, Delia in the afternoon, and Delia in the evening. Then we both say bye and see you later, and I go inside. As soon as I close the door, I forget all about Delia and head straight to the kitchen because I've just remembered that Mum brought a giant packet of chocolate raisins the other day. The trouble is, Mum often hides the really good treats. This is because, 1, treats get eaten straight away in our house. 2, Mum likes to keep some treats just for guests. Biscuits, it's annoying. 3, I'm not supposed to help myself. Luckily, I've become an expert at finding them. Let me see. That didn't take long. Result. He's gone into the teapot. I should show you that really. There we are. So he's having a look and he finds them in the teapot. The trick is to open the raisins carefully without ripping the packet so it doesn't look like anyone's touched them. Gently does it. I'm so busy delicately tipping the raisins into my hand that I don't hear Mum coming downstairs until she's outside the kitchen door. And then I panic. There is just enough time to shove the packet of raisins back inside the teapot, slam down the lid before Mum comes in. Hello, Tom. You're home early, Mum says. I'm trying not to look guilty. I tell Mum Derek and I ran all the way home, extra fast in a race. Phew, I feel really tired now. The bit about being tired I've added for a very good reason. I'm still holding the chocolate raisins in my hand and they're beginning to melt. I do a massive yawn and I put my hand up to my mouth and then I shove in as many of the raisins as I can without Mum noticing. Turns out there's a lot more than I thought. We've all done that. The plan would have worked, but Mum keeps asking me questions. She says, you know Granny Mavis and Grandad Bob are coming round tonight to keep an eye on things. I can't speak because my mouth is stuffed full of chocolate raisins, so I nod. My head instead. We're going out for dinner with someone Dad works with. We're going out for dinner with someone Dad works with. I smile and nod some more. I've got this new dress, especially for tonight. Oh, and Granny Mavis doesn't need to cook. There's food in the oven, which is a relief because you never know what Granny Mavis will make. I'm trying really hard to chew the raisins without Mum noticing. Slowly. Are you eating something, Tom? That didn't work then. When I try and say, nothing, a raisin nearly pops out of my mouth. Instead, I do the only thing I can think of to get me out of this very tricky situation. Here goes. I give Mum a great big hug. Oh, that's nice, Tom. What's that for? Mum says, hugging me back. All the time I'm chewing the raisins and trying to think of a good answer. Then suddenly Delia comes storming into the house and slams the front door behind her. Where's Tom? She shouts a bit cross. What's wrong, Delia? Mum asks her. This is what's wrong. Delia holds up her broken mobile phone. And it's all your fault, she says, pointing at me. What have I done? I say, trying to finish off the last raisin. I keep close to Mum in case Delia goes even more bonkers. Mum says, how could Tom break your phone? He's been here with me. Good point, Mum. Delia is still looking fierce. I'll tell you how. Tom and that nerdy friend of his sneaked up right behind me and screamed my name so loudly the shock made me drop my phone. And now look at it. Who knew that would happen? I tell Delia that 1, Derek isn't nerdy, and 2, breaking her phone was an accident. Then I do an extra sad face to make the point a bit more. We only wanted to say hello, I tell Mum. Delia is scowling at me and she says, do me a favour, if you ever see me walking in front of you ever again, don't come anywhere near me or ever speak to me. Calm down, Delia, Mum says, which winds her up even more. I'm sure Tom didn't mean to break your phone. Did you, Tom? I shake my head. We could get it fixed, Mum adds. Delia slams her phone down on the table and says, good luck with that. Then she storms off in a huff.